Good morning, guys. So, yes, I know it's been 2 weeks since I've done anything, and a very good reason for that. Had a little bit of a tragedy happen here with my son, with Aaron, my 17-year-old, and this is actually my first time home in 2 weeks. So on the first, I was working on my front porch, and I got a phone call. No, not a phone call, sorry. I got a message from Aaron's phone, but it was his friend who was using it, who said Aaron had an accident, he got hurt pretty bad, and an officer here wants your phone number so he can call you. Give him the phone number. Officer calls me, tells me that Aaron, he said it very sort of, it's not a big deal, so I didn't panic at that point, but he said Aaron had fallen, hit his head, and he was on his way to Bay State, which is our hospital, the big hospital in Springfield. He said, why don't you head on over, and I said, okay, so that's what I did, and when I got there, I was not prepared for what really happened. Fallen. We don't know exactly the story yet because actually the kids that were with him lied and made up stories. So there's like 5 different stories floating around. We do have the police involved. Everybody's sort of trying to figure out this is. My daughter and I, Stephanie and I, we have been our own detectives, and we have actually found out quite a bit of information because of this. It's kind of narrowed things down a little bit as to what actually happened. But the point is he got really badly hurt, life-threatening hurt. He hit the back of his head so hard that it fractured the whole back of his skull in multiple places, into the ear, the right ear, and caused pretty significant brain hemorrhaging, so he had bleeds. Pretty bad. So by the time I got to the hospital, he was already intubated. They were rushing him to CT to see what was going on, and then they came out of there and went straight to OR because he was going to die, and they had to stop this bleed. It was hemorrhaging. They were successful at that. They did that, and it was touch and go. And obviously, he was very critical condition. A few days later, he had a stroke. So he was transferred to Boston Children's, more as a precaution, because if there was anything that needed to be done in that department, they actually are the specialists for that. So we wanted him to have the care if he needed it. Thankfully, he didn't. 2 days later, came back to Bay State, and so he did lose function in his left arm, and it's slowly coming back. That arm, it's nowhere near the right arm, but his smile is normal now on both sides. He's got full use of his left leg, and went from this very energetic, very funny, very outgoing, amazing 17-year-old, and he now is having to relearn everything. We don't know if he'll have brain damage or the extent of it. He really is just, like, every single day you see more and more improvement and more progression, which even, like I said, shocks the doctors. They're just like, I can't believe he's doing this already, and I can't believe he's making such amazing strides just 2 weeks in. I mean, I thought he was going to be in the hospital, in the intensive care unit for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was there for 1 week. Then he got transferred over to the regular children's floor for a week. Now he's at Spalding in Boston for rehab, which is like the best rehab ever, anywhere, for brain injuries like this. So that is why I have not been doing anything. I've literally been with him every single day, every single night. This is my first time home in those 2 weeks, where I've actually spent the night at home. I haven't slept in 2 weeks, and that's not an exaggeration. I've probably gotten 2 full nights sleep in the span of 2 weeks. So if you add up all the sleep I've gotten, it's probably 2 nights. And that's fine. I have to do what I have to do for him. He does remember me. He remembers all of us, actually. He has no problem remembering people, it seems, which is good. You know, it's going to be day by day. I don't know when he will come home. That's actually something I'm waiting on a phone call from them. The team's going to get together today, and they're going to give an estimate. It won't be exact. It won't be like yes, he's absolutely coming home on this day, but it will be an estimate of how long they think he'll need for recovery. I gotta get in the shade. It's hot. And we'll go by that, but bucks are cracking. Yeah, so guys, that's just really what's been going on. It's hard to deal with. It's heartbreaking. It's no call a parent ever wants to get. It is absolutely horrifying. I try to block it out of what I saw in the beginning and focus on how well he's doing now. I am going back to Boston tomorrow. I came home last night, so I was home about 10 o'clock last night. I have to get new clothes for him. I have to get myself new stuff, new clothes. He can have a blanket. He can have a couple things. So I came home to just really repack what we need for this next haul in his recovery. So that's what's been going on in the past 2 weeks. And it's, I don't even know. It's just, I don't even know how to put it on. Hopefully he'll be home soon, and we can start life over with him. I don't know what his mental status will be. I do believe he'll walk fine. He's talking. I think that will clear up. He has an occupational therapist, physical therapist, speech therapist. He's got like every therapist you can think of to help him get through this. So yeah, I will keep you updated. I won't be making crazy videos, or any videos really, between now and the time that he is able to come home, because I won't be here all that much. I will be switching off a few times with my daughter Katie and my daughter Stephanie. They do want to go up and visit, and with COVID you can only have one person at a time in the room, and actually there only one person per day. So we will have this whole, we're working out a whole schedule for what to do, and who can sit with him when. The thing is that Matt has to go back to work. He's taken 2 weeks off for this, most of which he's not getting paid for, because he had to take all his vacation time, all his sick days, everything that was left, I should say. And so the majority of this, like a week and a couple days, he's not getting paid for this, and unfortunately we still have bills to pay. So he has to go back to work, which means I have to come home and be with the kids. It breaks my heart. It kills me that Aaron is 2 hours away from me, and I can't be with him every single day. Because, you just don't feel right unless you're there with them. And he is constantly trying to get out of his bed. They had to give him a net bed, which he got out of last night. He figured it out and got out of his bed. He's always trying to take off his neck brace, which he does. They had it taped. He still got that off. He wants to come home, and he's definitely feisty at this point, which is completely normal. All of it's normal. And so I would love to be there with him constantly. Unfortunately, I can't do that unless we have magic money pop up. Money makes the world go around, I guess. So anyway, that's that, and I will keep you updated. I'll probably make a couple short videos in between, because I have gotten a lot of emails actually about what's going on, is everything okay, people wanting to know why I haven't been putting out videos. So that's what I'll do, and for those of you who did know about this already, and you gave us your well wishes and your prayers and your thoughts and everything, we appreciate that very much. And as far as I'm concerned, Aaron's going to be just fine. I think he's going to recover fully. I'm staying positive. I think that's what's going to happen. So I will. I'm here until tomorrow morning. I will make a video later on today, and you'll get that in a couple of days. So yeah. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you in the next video.